This is the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 600, so named because it has 600 square inches of cooking surface. It's a smart grill, and honestly, a really good grill, if you don't mind the 3 problems I found. As the name implies, this is a Gravity Series grill from the Masterbuilt company. That means that all your charcoal is kept off to the side and fed by gravity. It also means that it cooks through indirect heat, something closer to a high heat smoker than, say, a traditional charcoal grill. Still, if you know what to expect with that, it makes really good food. You can't sear a steak, for instance, and we saw that in my other review for the AutoIgnite, which works in a similar fashion. Your steaks come out looking gray. You'll have to take them inside and finish them off for a perfect looking cook. But once you know all that, then you can cook on this and get some really great results. What makes this special though is that it is a smart grill, which means it's a little faster to light than traditional charcoal, although not as fast as the AutoIgnite. And you can keep an eye on the temperature of your meat or vegetables or whatever else with an integrated probe. As for your control panel here, in addition to power, you've also got temperature, probe temperature, a timer, and this is pairing to get onto your Wi-Fi. You'll press and hold this and then go into the app and connect it up to your Wi-Fi network. The knob lets you scroll through the different options or through temperatures as you set. You can press again to put it into hold mode when you want to refill the hopper. To get started, you'll just press the power button right here in the middle. You'll see that I've already got a probe connected in. And then we're gonna have to jump to the other side. And one of the very first things you should do is go ahead and pull out these 2 chutes right here. And by the way, if you do forget to pull these out, your attempt to light the grill will fail entirely. They block all the air from reaching here to here. And by the way, you know what else you shouldn't forget to do? Subscribe to the Anoraker channel. We've got a lot more great reviews coming, including Google's new foldable phone. You'll want to open up the top and put in your charcoal. Now Masterbuilt did provide me this lump charcoal that I'm going to use, and this is a full bag, so we'll just give you an idea of how much it'll hold. I've still got probably 1/4 of the bag left, and it's full. This holds up to 12 pounds of lump charcoal or 18 pounds of briquette. You'll notice these latches on both the charcoal hopper and the firebox. These are magnetically connected, so when you open this up, you may have just heard that beep, it will let the grill know that this is open and to stop the fans so that it doesn't blow fire out. The same thing goes for the firebox as well, and once you close, it will begin blowing the fans again. That lets you refill charcoal, although the hold button might be a bit safer there. And then you'll open up this side box, which is where all your ash is kept, by the way, and you will produce a lot. When I light my charcoal, I do tend to shake on here, as there's almost always some ash stuck in there that will prevent a good light. Place a fire starter right in this slot here. Masterbuilt sells fire starters, and in this case, they fit perfectly. And then just light with any old heat source you have. I like this one. Check out my review for that as well. Close up, and then head back over and set your temperature. And you should hear the fans start to go immediately. Now, the fact that the fans start immediately took me by surprise. The AutoIgnite, which I previously reviewed, did not do that, and I assumed if they had started the fans sooner, it would make the charcoal light up faster. But the truth is, the AutoIgnite does get up to temperature faster than this grill does. I don't know if it's because of the larger hot box, the larger surface area, or the way they're doing the fans differently. But I will say this still gets up to temperature very fast, typically faster than I can manually take care of charcoal myself. Once you're up to temperature, you can cook pretty much like a normal grill despite that induction heat. What I want you to notice right now though, with this lower rack right here, which can be moved up, has slid forward. If you don't have a perfectly level surface, and my deck is not level, I need to get that fixed, this can slide forward on you. I put something under the grill to level it out some. Before I did that, on a couple occasions when I opened the grill, it fell out at me, which was kind of scary. So just keep that in mind. The grill itself will handle up to 700 degrees with the temperature, which makes it better than some of Masterbuilt's other smart grills. But when you get up to that high temperature, you are more prone to fires. So again, keep that in mind and keep an eye on it. Once you get started, you can insert the included probe. You get one of these with the grill. You can use up to 4. And then you can set your preferred temperature on the type of meat you're cooking inside the app. Once you decide how you would like your meat done, you can basically walk away. The app does a good job of notifying you as you get close to temperature so you can pull off at the right time. Dedicated smart meat thermometers have more features, but for the bare basics of cooking, this more than does the job. I also like that this is a Wi-Fi powered grill, so you can, in theory, walk pretty far away, maybe run to the store real quick, and then keep an eye on the cook throughout. I wouldn't do that because if you do happen to have a fire, you want to be nearby to put it out. But I like having the versatility to walk into my house and know that my meat's going to be okay, and I can keep an eye on where it's at in the cook process. As far as how well this grill cooks, honestly, pretty good. It is indirect heat. That comes with some advantages and some disadvantages. Right here are your grates. This is in sear mode, while this is in smoke. You switch just by flipping them over and they are nicely marked so you can tell the difference. Sear is just a flattened, whereas smoke is the raised triangles. But without that direct flame kiss of having charcoal beneath your meat, it doesn't really truly sear. You'll have to take inside and pan fry essentially to get that. Or you can turn over and get a smoke. And therein, you can theoretically use this as a smoker, but a dedicated smoker does a better job. On the other hand, this is just a $700 grill. Kind of expensive for a grill, I admit, but if you look at it as potentially both a grill and a smoker in one, you could theoretically save some money if you don't mind going through extra fuel in the process in using this as a smoker. The reason this review seems to be coming kind of late in the season is when I went to film this review the first time, the grill wouldn't turn on. I reached out to Masterbuilt, who immediately got back to me and had me run a couple tests, and we figured out immediately it was the plug, and they had to send me a new one. And that's what worries me. This is the plug, and you'll notice it looks at first like a standard barrel jack, but it flares out really wide, and there's a lip on both sides of the barrel jack right here. That coincides with the locking mechanism in here. So you'll see there's an arrow. You have to push in to the right spot and then twist to lock it in place. There are also some pretty big warnings that come with this about not letting it get wet. I had some rain catch me by surprise one day and the grill did in fact get wet. I suspect that is what killed this plug. So make sure you get a good cover, which Masterbuilt sells, and keep this covered anytime you think rain's coming along. So I'm lucky. I'm a reviewer. I have people directly at Masterbuilt immediately send me things, and it still took me a few weeks to get the replacement plug. So that's kind of a big concern, potentially a deal breaker for me. I like stuff that you can take care of and repair easily, and it's hard to say that's the case with this particular plug. The AutoIgnite, on the other hand, has a standard plug. We've talked about the AutoIgnite a couple times, and definitely check out my full review there. I like a lot of things about that grill, but it has a very small cooking space. This has a larger cooking space. In fact, we got a whole chicken in there and cooked it, and it turned out great. There is enough space in this grill to put in Masterbuilt's pizza oven. We went and bought that separately, and it works really good actually. You do have to go through a little bit of effort pulling out the grates and installing the side pieces that allow it to trap the heat entirely and push it straight to the pizza stone. But once you do all that, you can get up to a really good temperature and cook pizza in fairly short order. Is it as fast as a dedicated pizza oven? Probably not. Is it less expensive than having a grill, a smoker, and a pizza oven? By far, yes, absolutely. And all in all, it's pretty space saving. Although, again, since this storage space is pretty small, you won't be able to store the pizza oven under here. You can put it elsewhere, but you don't have all three grill, smoker, and pizza oven taking up space. So that's pretty handy if you live in a smaller area or a smaller household like I do. And you have some niceties like this folding rack right here. I do wish this table were larger because once the handle comes into play, you have very little space, not even enough for a full plate. At best, you're gonna hold your tools. When you are not using it or when you're putting your cover on, you can lift up and fold it down. And that makes getting the cover on a little bit easier. Although if you go with Masterbuilt's official cover for this, and you need to in order to fit the charcoal hopper on it properly, it will fit with the table up. And a second space for holding your stuff as well. But with this side box, you don't have a third table over here. I kind of miss that at times. There's also some other things like the build process that were just finicky. One disappointing area is actually storage. If you look underneath, there really isn't much space available here at all. You are not going to fit your charcoal down here. You might fit your, well, okay, you will fit your fire starters, but that's realistically about it. Maybe some tools, but I wouldn't want to keep them down here because as you can see, it quickly collects up the extra ash. And in fact, ash is something you'll have to deal with. You'll see that I have a mat down because I'm on a wood deck and it just makes me feel better. And I do have plenty of ash that has fallen out and collected on this mat. I'll link the mat on Amazon for you if you're interested as well. I actually do like it a lot. It does the job pretty good. When you're done cooking, there's something important you have to remember to do. First, you press and hold power to turn it back off. But then you need to grab these two chutes, which thankfully hang right here when you're not using them, and place them back inside the charcoal and firebox. They do only fit in one order, so if you try to stick the wrong one down here, it just will not go. And the easy thing to remember is that the Masterbuilt logo goes up, so the handle goes this way, which makes it easier to grab them out. If you don't put these back, Masterbuilt has a warning that you may damage the firebox from overheating once the power is off. When you are ready to stop using your grill, you can keep this plugged in should you wish. There is storage on the back. I don't love it. It does the trick. It is a flimsy pull-out guy, and you can just wrap around. I do like, though, that it folds away when you're not using it, which is anytime you're using the grill. When you need to move the grill, thankfully you've got two wheels in the back. This table is locked, it does not fold, so you lift and you can drag. With the charcoal hopper full, you do feel that extra weight. It's pretty easy to move around as long as the path is clear. Make sure you got plenty of space, maybe put the table down if you want to, but otherwise it's honestly not that bad to get around. This is, of course, a grill, so you occasionally need to clean it, and it does collect dirt, grime, and you name it. Just from handling the grill throughout the review, you can see how much grime I've collected on my hands already. To get started, of course, this rack slides right out, no problem. We'll pull the probe out through here. There is a nice closing spot for the probe, by the way. Keep temperature in, and a rubber grommet on this side. These two racks come out. I've given this grill a light cleaning prior to this review, but not super clean. And of course, this manifold, which is where you get all your heat, will lift up and out. You'll want to clean this occasionally too, because it gets full of ash, as you can see. You'll see there's plenty of space below for your grease trap, which you will occasionally have to pull out and empty as well. When you're ready to clean the grease trap, you can grab this Gravity Series marker right here and flip over and down. It is very flimsy and will probably come off at you at some point anyways. Notice mine's already come out a little bit. That's my own fault. Ash will fall in here as well. So pull it out and clean it sometimes. One thing I don't like is there is no backstop. So you have to be careful not to push too far. Just go for what seems about right. And if you can see, there's just ash coming right out on me. And then of course, when you need to, you can open up the firebox over here, pull out the ash bucket, which is generously sized. I do appreciate that. And clean out this area as well, which also tends to get full of ash. The bucket will not catch all of it. So if you're wondering by now, would I recommend this grill? The answer is yes, tentatively. If you are in a smaller household like I am, there's a lot of great things about this grill. You get a lot for what is a little bit of extra money compared to some grills, $700, but less than buying all three: smoker, grill, potentially pizza oven, and you save that space as well. There are a few problems that bother me. One being the grate that fell out on me, so just make sure you're in a level place. Two being, I can't always seem to keep the grill connected to my Wi-Fi network, but I don't know if that's my network in particular. I have a pretty complicated setup. And third being the plug. Mine failed. I reached out to Masterbuilt directly and they sent me a new one, but I don't know how hard it would be for you to get a new plug. I wish it used something more standard. If you're okay with those things, if you're really careful about keeping the plug from ever getting wet, and you like the idea of essentially smoking your meat, which makes for a great flavor, then this is a fantastic grill and should be on your short list. But if the plug especially bothers you, that's something to keep in mind. That's all for now, but until next time, bye!